Have you ever felt as if your confidence just collapsed? For no clear reason? Not because you're stupid. Not because you're weak. But because there is something, one hidden force, that has long been designed to tear your self-worth apart from the inside. This is the dark secret nobody talks about. Something that haunts almost everyone. And maybe right now, it's silently destroying you without you even realizing. What destroys confidence is not failure. It's not rejection either. It's one psychological poison that creeps slowly, enters your mind, and plants a venomous whisper. Comparison. Yes, comparison. Something that looks harmless, yet has a horrifying history. Back in the age of empires, rulers deliberately made their people compare one another. The poor with the rich, the weak with the strong. Why? Because comparison breeds dissatisfaction. And dissatisfied people are far easier to control. Have you ever wondered why in school you were forced to sit in rows, graded, then compared to the kid next to you? That wasn't just education. It was a social experiment. A giant laboratory built to inject the feeling of not enough since childhood. And once you feel not enough, your confidence crumbles. You can have intelligence. You can have talent. But once poisoned by comparison, everything shatters. Dark psychology has long known its effects. A 1950s experiment revealed that people could be made to feel like failures, simply by showing them that others did better, even when the data was fake. The result? Subjects lost motivation, shrank into themselves, even stopped trying altogether. Think about that. Even without real failure, humans can be broken, just by whispering one thing into their mind. You are worse than them. And here's the irony. The modern system is built on this poison. Social media, it's not entertainment. It's a psychological weapon. Scroll for a few seconds and you'll see someone prettier, richer, happier. That's not coincidence. That's an algorithm designed to suck the last drops of your confidence. Have you ever felt? The longer you stare at the screen, the more you hate yourself. That's because you've stepped into the largest comparison machine in human history. Hidden fact. The human brain never evolved to handle comparison at a global scale. Our ancestors only compared themselves to a dozen villagers. Now, you're compared to millions of people, every second. No wonder so many collapse into depression, feeling worthless when in reality, they're not. And that's the darkest truth. Your confidence isn't destroyed by reality. It's destroyed by illusion. The illusion that you are less compared to someone else's perfect projection. History is full of manipulation like this. Totalitarian regimes used propaganda to show how small citizens were compared to their glorious leader. Corporations used flawless bodies and faces in ads to inject inferiority, then sold you their products as a fake cure. They destroy your confidence first, so they can sell it back to you. Do you still think that's just coincidence? Or are you starting to realize you're a pawn in an ongoing psychological experiment? Here's the hard truth. The one thing that instantly shatters your confidence isn't failure, isn't rejection. It's the forbidden desire to compare yourself. Fall into that trap once, and it's over. Psychology calls it the self-comparison trap. And your brain can't easily escape it. Every time you compare, your dopamine spikes. If you feel superior, you get a brief high. But the moment you lose, dopamine crashes, leaving you hollow. This cycle is addictive. And this addiction is the ultimate destroyer of confidence. Now ask yourself, is this why the world feels emptier, even though we're more connected than ever? Because you are stuck in comparison, again and again, without realizing it's poison injected into your daily life. Picture this. A child proudly draws a crooked house. They're happy. Then the teacher shows a neater drawing from another kid. In an instant, that pride turns into shame. That is the first moment the poison enters. And it grows silently until adulthood. Why do almost all of us fall into this trap? Because the system needs you small. The world doesn't want truly confident people. The world wants consumers. Modern slaves. Workers who always feel lacking. So they keep buying, keep chasing, never satisfied. The dark fact. If you were truly confident, you'd be dangerous. You couldn't be controlled. You wouldn't need validation. Lies wouldn't fool you. And nothing could be sold to you. That's why, from childhood, you were trained to compare. Have you ever felt, when you try to rise, the world seems to pull you down? That's not an illusion. That's the system. And the system knows, destroy someone's confidence. And you can control their entire life. So now you have two choices. Keep swallowing the poison of comparison that erodes you piece by piece. Or open your eyes. See that it was all an illusion planted deep inside your mind. The one thing that destroys your confidence instantly is not the outside world. It's the trap inside your own thoughts. And after this, you will never look at the world the same way again. But the story doesn't end there, because the rabbit hole goes much deeper, into places you were never meant to see. Do you know what psychologists discovered in the Cold War? That confidence isn't just a personality trait. It's a weapon. Armies realized, if you strip soldiers of confidence, you don't even need to kill them. They collapse from the inside. Documents declassified decades later reveal chilling tactics. Prisoners of war were broken not by physical torture, but by constant comparisons. They were told their comrades resisted better. They were told others endured more pain. And in that belief, their willpower snapped. What does that mean for you? It means comparison isn't harmless. It's psychological warfare. And today, it's not used just on soldiers. It's used on you, on me, on everyone who stares into a glowing screen every night. Think about this. Every like, every follower, every number is a battlefield statistic. It tells you exactly where you stand against the faceless millions. Numbers that pretend to define your worth. Numbers that chain your mind. Isn't it strange? A primitive part of your brain, designed to survive in small tribes, has been hijacked by billion-dollar industries. And now you're stuck in a never-ending hunger for validation that was never real in the first place. Here's the hidden horror. Confidence isn't destroyed instantly by one failure. It's chipped away in micro slices. Every comparison cuts a little deeper. Every glance at someone better drains you a little more. Until one day you wake up, and the person in the mirror feels like a stranger. Do you know why so many geniuses from history lived isolated lives? Because they understood this poison. Nietzsche, Kafka, Van Gogh. They knew that comparison kills creation. That's why they rejected society's games, even when it meant madness, even when it meant loneliness. But here's the twist. Society doesn't want you to realize this, because if you break free from comparison, you break free from control. And a free mind terrifies those who rule, so they built a prison you cannot see. A prison of numbers, grades, salaries, rankings, followers, an invisible chain around your neck, and you obey it willingly. Ask yourself, why do you care if strangers online like your photo? Why does it matter if someone else earns more, looks better, or travels farther? Why does your heart race when you're judged by numbers? Because the prison has already won. This is the darkest trick of all. They don't need to lock your body in chains. They only need to lock your confidence in comparison. And once that happens, you'll never rebel. But here's where things turn dangerous. Some people learn to weaponize comparison against you. Narcissists, manipulators, abusers. They'll compare you to an ex, a sibling, a colleague. They'll whisper that you're not enough, and you'll believe it. Do you see now? The most effective control isn't shouting. It isn't threats. It's the quiet poison of comparison. And the scariest part? You let it in. You drink it daily. You even beg for more without realizing it. But what if you stopped? What if you realized the game was rigged? What if you understood that the perfect lives you compare yourself to were illusions too? Edited photos, fake happiness, curated lies. You've been fighting shadows all along. Imagine a world where you never compared yourself again. Wouldn't you be unstoppable? Wouldn't your confidence explode beyond control? Wouldn't you finally be free? Maybe that's why they keep feeding you comparison. Because deep down, they fear what you might become without it. So now the final question is this. Will you keep swallowing the poison? Or will you spit it out and burn the chains they wrapped around your mind? Because the truth is brutal but simple. The world doesn't break your confidence. You do every time you compare. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. And after this, you'll never look at yourself or the world the same way again.